UK court may force Prince Andrew to give evidence in Virginia Roberts' US lawsuit if he continues to dodge and duck the case, claims Epstein victim's lawyer Lisa Bloom, who says, "No one is above the law." Prince Andrew could be forced by a UK court to present evidence in Virginia Giuffre's bombshell sex assault US lawsuit if he continues to dodge and duck the case, according to a lawyer who has represented victims of paedophile Jeffrey Epstein. Lisa Bloom told BBC Radio 4's Today programme that a British judge might be required to enforce a cooperation deal between London and Washington, D.C. that could compel the Duke of York to present evidence to be used in a US lawsuit under oath. She also insisted that Ms. Giuffre's sex assault case is likely to proceed despite lawyers for Andrew trying to convince Judge Lewis Kaplan the papers had not been served and that the lawsuit should be thrown out, adding, "No one is above the law. We have a legal cooperation agreement between the US and the UK and everybody who is sued says it's unfair and unjust and they didn't do it, but that's not good enough," Ms. Bloom told the Today programme. "We have system and a process, and especially when it comes to sexual assault cases, Ms. Giuffre's entitled to her day in court. He's entitled to present all his defenses. There are many ordinary cases every day where citizens of the UK are required to answer questions under oath and depositions in US cases and vice versa because we have a friendly agreement between the two countries." Lawyers who spoke to Mail Online have confirmed that it is a well-trodden path for US litigants to make applications to obtain evidence or documents from an individual in England and Wales for the purposes of US civil proceedings in the US. In England and Wales, the Evidence Act 1975, the Civil Procedure Rules and the Hague Convention authorize the High Court to make an order on behalf of a US court for an uncooperative individual in England and Wales to produce evidence. Thomas Garner, extradition partner at Fladgate, told Mail Online, "There is a well-trodden path for a US litigant to obtain evidence in the UK. This route is open to them in this case. Prince Andrew would be entitled to invoke privileges against self-incrimination, but given what he has said previously about cooperating, any refusal to do so is only going to aggravate an already hugely embarrassing situation for him and the royal family." Ms. Giuffre, an alleged victim of convicted paedophile Epstein, filed a lawsuit against the Queen's son in federal court in Manhattan on August 9. She claims she was forced to have sex with the royal 3 times when she was 17 under the age of consent in the US. The lawsuit claimed that Andrew was one of the powerful men who Epstein loaned Ms. Giuffre, then Ms. Roberts, out to for sex and accused the Duke of publicly feigning ignorance about the scope of Epstein's sex trafficking operation and sympathy for Epstein's victims. Ms. Giuffre alleges the first time with the royal was at the London townhouse of Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's alleged madam. The second time, in 2001, was at Epstein's New York mansion, and the third time was on Epstein's private island in the Caribbean. The formal allegations against the Duke of battery and infliction of emotional distress. Andrew has long denied the allegations and has not been charged with any crime. In a car crash 2019 interview with the BBC, he claimed he had no memory of ever meeting Ms. Roberts, now a 38-year-old mother of 3 who lives in Australia and goes by her married name. A now infamous photo, taken inside the London townhouse of Maxwell, shows Andrew smiling for the camera with his arm around Ms. Roberts' waist while Maxwell stands in the background. Asked who would be required to force the Duke to sit in a US court, Ms. Bloom said, "It would be a UK court that would be enforcing the cooperation agreement between the US and the UK, just as in my country if a witness is needed for a case in England they are required to cooperate."